Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how I made this model of the Chinese fire rocket, as well as take you through some of its history. These fire rockets were actually one of the earliest uses for gunpowder, since it was discovered to have incendiary properties by monks in the 800s. A similar recipe was actually known about for much longer, but it was only discovered to have incendiary properties by these Chinese monks while looking for an elixir of life. You can see here me making fletching for the fire rocket. This was not actually in the original design, but was added much later on to give stability to the rocket while in flight. While knowledge of the ingredients for gunpowder, saltpeter, charcoal, and sulfur was able to spread throughout the Middle Eastern area throughout the following years, the actual recipe was able to stay in China for many more decades because the ratios had to be very specific for the gunpowder to work properly. Here I am about to make the sort of supports that they used to prop up the fire rocket to aim it before it was fired. These supports were very simply just two pieces of bamboo in the front to prop up the front end of the rocket. Here I am carving out sort of a bamboo shape profile out of these bits of dowel and using that to, well, make it look like bamboo. Here, I am about to carve out the back supports. I am marking the same sort of, bamboo sections to carve out properly, but you don't need to see that again, so snap cut. Here you can see I'm just getting some paints ready to paint the bamboo some vaguely bamboo-like colors. We've got the darker greens for most of the stock, some lighter greens for the little partitioned sections. Bamboo was used to make these because it was very durable and very common, very plentiful in China. It was also already hollow, so it made pretty much for the perfect rocket casing. Also, you can see here that the top bit that I had attached at the beginning of the video, the super glue that I had used had not properly adhered, so I made another one and actually carved it this time, and I am going to attach it on with hot glue. Here I am taking the block of foam that I was using earlier and a hot wire foam cutter to make the base for this. I'm also, as you can see here, using the bamboo that I've made to mark out where I'm going to be putting it on the base, and then I sort of hollow out the spot using a different attachment on the hot wire foam cutter. Sadly, you will not get to see the whole process of me making the base because I lost the footage due to my phone dying while recording. I still have most of this though, and you will still get to see the end result, well, at the end of the video. The general recipe for gunpowder spread throughout the Middle East and was adapted to cannons and rudimentary firearms. It only ever reached Europe, however, in the 1300s. As gunpowder eventually spread throughout Europe, its main ingredient, saltpeter, actually became a very hot commodity among countries that could not produce their own. Countries like India profited majorly off of this, being able to produce and distribute lots of saltpeter. Here I'm adding the rope that would have been used to fasten the rocket to the arrow itself, and to do this I'm just adding super glue and wrapping the rope around, and rinse and repeat for the second one. Some European countries discovered that you could add a specific liquid to the mixture, and upon drying it would become this sort of hard brick which could be carved into pellets, resulting in much more consistent blasts and made for more reliable and safer cannons and firearms. Here I am adding the fuse. I made this just by taking a little piece of string and coating it in super glue to help it keep its shape. And I'm just gluing it back on here. And that is the completed rocket. There you go. Here is the aforementioned base fully completed. And would you look at that, a completed Chinese fire rocket.